Hi Libra, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm looking at the Hierophant, I'm looking at the Magician. For some of you, you may be doing some type of work that you feel guided to do. For some of you, this is about transcribing, translating things, maybe even being a conduit for divine energy, maybe something health related even. Something that you're sharing, something that you're creating, something you're communicating about. Maybe even different ways that you're going about living, maybe even, for some of you, there's a sense of reflection, maybe even pulling back from other people at times. It feels very much like you have an important message to share, is what I'm feeling with the Hierophant and the Magician. And I'm getting that this information is coming from within, whatever this is that you're sharing, whatever it is that you're figuring out. And maybe you're taking more time to yourself to think about what this is that you're doing. For a lot of you, this is related to your career. For some of you, there may be a masculine figure in your life that you've been dealing with. I'm looking at Taurus, Mercury, Virgo, Aquarius. It seems very much like, for those of you that this is related to your career, it feels like stepping into your own, finding a career path that fits for you, but only after you'd been really thinking about this, reflecting on that. And now I'm seeing that what it is that you're speaking out, you may feel like it's carrying a type of frequency, vibration, higher consciousness that you want to be sharing with those around you. There's a notion here of really opening your ears and listening where the universe is guiding you in relation to this path that you're fulfilling as well. Something that feels very authentic to you. And now relating that to the career arena for yourself. It's a sense of being like opening your ears to like spirit and guidance. And because of the way that that's affected you on a personal level, maybe now stepping into a career that reflects what this has meant in relation to you finding yourself. So it's like stepping into a career where you feel like you can immerse yourself in something in a very authentic way to you because you're constantly finding yourself. This may be a specific message. I'm getting something about a silent retreat or even having time to yourself where you feel like you're not meant to be maybe talking to everyone that you had been before, because there are things you need to think about and reflect about, and maybe you want to pull your energy back more so. Because it feels almost like you may be getting some clues about things that you want to stop doing. It's like maybe things that you feel like have hindered you, or patterns or cycles, whether this be habits or things involving other people. And there's this sense of, in really opening your ears and listening, understanding where you're being guided to change and transform, and even go through processes of regeneration. And I'm seeing this be very much a shedding process of you like pulling back layers to get to the bottom of who you are. And to reflect on that, reflect on what you're finding when you do that. And it seems too like you're coming out in a place, once you've gone through this like weeding out, so to speak, that you're doing, there's a sense of getting much more in touch with what you're feeling. And I'm seeing that's also leading you on, I'm hearing a creative and intuitive path. And I'm seeing you also, this touches your job too. There's a sense of doing your job more intuitively than you had been before. And maybe also sharing this wisdom that you're finding too. Because it seems like you may be getting some messages, downloads, things that you're realizing, remembering, understanding. And now there's a sense of wanting to pool that work and that information into what you're doing on the career front. Feeling like guided changes that you're moving through, Libra. Here you are. It feels like there could have been some things that you were involved in. Again, whether this be behaviors, thought patterns, interpersonal relationships. And there's a sense of looking at these things and analyzing all of these things and being like, does this still resonate with me? Is this complementing who I'm growing into? Is this supportive of where I'm trying to go? And there's a sense of, in like analyzing all of this stuff, really changing things for yourself and watching the evolution of this process and how that's affecting the patterns that you're involved in, whether it's habits, behaviors, relationships, all of that. Because I'm seeing this be related to many, many things, and I'm seeing you very much being guided through this process. Definitely a difficult shedding process, because there may be things that you had formed habits with when it came to your participation, and there's a sense of, I'm hearing nulling these patterns. Interesting. Changing things, changing the ways that you're doing things, and being patient with yourself throughout this process, because you know that it's a process and it's part of your evolution. And there's a notion here as well of like, because you're clearing out this energy, the messages that you're getting are also very clear, and it's like giving you more power when it comes to what it is that you're manifesting. It's like a lot more energy that you can put behind what it is that you're creating, and doing so with a lot of balance, with a lot of integrity, and a lot of reflection as well. And this leading into a very big change for you when it comes to not just your environment, but the way that you perceive your environment. And yourself along with it. You may be sorting through some things as well. As I'm seeing, I'm hearing new career for some. It's like this new pathway that you're doing things. For some of you, this is a project that you're doing, that you're working on, that you feel intuitively guided to be doing, or this can be like a side project for some. I'm hearing side hustle. Related to work, related to a job. I am seeing this being new, and there may be a sense of like trying to build up to this as far as a financial aspect when it comes to figuring out prices. Am I going to be making enough? Is this going to be proficient when it comes to my finances? And the building up of that, and knowing that that also takes patience, and you constantly doing the best that you can to be doing this in a balanced way, with all of the integrity that you bring into this process. It seems like some things are being sorted out when it comes to either monetary exchanges and or energetic exchanges. It's like, how much energy do I want to be putting into this thing that I'm doing? How much money do I expect to be making? How much energy do I expect to be given in return? It's all of that. It's about figuring out this dance and what you're expecting to come of this and what you're creating. And there's a sense of purity with this project that you're working on. I'm seeing very, very pure intuition here. when it comes to the way that you're doing this, the way that you're approaching this. For some of you, there may be someone helping you finance what it is that you're working on. For others of you, this may be someone that's supporting you when it comes to like the business aspect of what you're doing or the financial aspect. Like I'm seeing someone and it's like they could be like sponsoring you somehow or providing funds, though I'm not seeing that be all of it. I'm seeing this person may do that, or they may be like guiding you, giving you advice. I'm seeing definitely a figure that may be helping you out when it comes to either how you're doing things, how you want to be doing things, analyzing things from a business standpoint, all of that. And maybe you're also doing this for yourself too. Maybe this is also a self-help thing that you're doing when it comes to your business, how you want to carry things out, things like that. How you want to go about doing things, how you can be like the best version of you when it comes to this role that you're playing in relation to the job arena, career arena. And for some of you, you may be, I'm hearing high ranking, you may be like allowing some type of role that you've been playing to fall away in search of what is further going to feel fulfilling to you. This may also come at a later point for some of you. There's a sense of like working on something, and in the process of doing this, because you're discovering this new identity for yourself, 11:44 on the time, because you're discovering this new identity for yourself, there are other roles that are falling away. That's what this feels like. But I'm seeing again this be part of a process. Like I'm not seeing anything just happen very immediately or instantly. There's this sense of like working through this process, working with the process, moving with it. I'm looking at Taurus, Mercury, Virgo, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Libra, Scorpio, and the moon. I'm seeing someone in a crouching position. You may be practicing things when it comes to breathing, yoga, different postures, meditation, praying, practicing gratitudes, grounding. There's a motion of like coming more into nature and the earth, getting involved in that way. It looks also like there's a deep dive into the subconscious that's happening as well. You may almost feel it coming too, that there's some things that you're going to be letting go of, but you may not be in a place yet where you're at the point of recognizing these things yet. It's kind of like taking the changes as they come, is what this feels like to me. You may also be feeling maybe some tension or stress. For some of you, because of all the changes you're going through, you may be feeling a restless energy at times as the shedding is happening, as the changing is going on. Sometimes too, when there's a lot of change that happens at once, it feels sometimes a little bit unstable, like the ground beneath you gets a little bit unsturdy, and there's a sense of letting this go. Also a sense of letting go of the things that are unknown too. Because maybe you find yourself feeling more comfortable when you have a plan, and maybe you're at the point where you're recognizing that you're not going to be able to plan everything out, and you're getting to a place where you're like, I'm just going to have to be okay with that in order to embrace everything that I'm growing towards and opening myself up to. And there's a sense of like, as soon as you loosen your grip a little bit, feeling much more calm and collected and grounded because of that. It's like being okay with the ambiguity of this process right now. For some of you, this is also centered around finances, I'm seeing. Like there may be some worries about money and how things are going to come together, and there's a sense of trust that is absolutely needed, that if you're doing what you're meant to be doing, you're going to be taken care of. And if you get to... Give me 1 second, please. If you get to a place where you're looking for a solution and the answer that you're looking for is not available, there may be something further that you need to learn about, that you need to find. If you get to a place where, this is the metaphor I'm getting, you're driving down a road and you wanted to take this very particular road, and as you're driving down it, you come to these cones and this barrier, and you recognize that you're going to have to find another route. Taking the guidance and understanding that you're not meant to go down that path and you are absolutely meant to find another route, and key point, knowing that you will find another route, that is going to be very important. I'm getting this very specifically. So it's like if you come to a block where you're like, I can't find a solution, or I can't be going down this road that I had thought that I wanted to go down, or I thought I was meant to, there's a sense of being able to kind of double back and find a different way to get to where you're going. Because there may be a different route that you're being taken down, and even though you don't know why, it may be very important to your growth, to your process. There may be something along that alternative route that you needed to secure in order to show up at the location you were trying to get to. So it's like you're going to get to the same destination you were looking to, but the alternative route may be necessary. This has come through in other readings. I'm getting this again. Sometimes when we have these models of expectations of being like, it's going to be this way, or I hope for it to be this way, or this is what I expect. Sometimes when we get into a moment, we recognize that things are very different than we had expected them to be, or it doesn't go with like what this model was that we were holding on to. And this is about when you get to that place where reality and what you had hoped for or expected to or wanted is different than what the model was that you were holding of that. There's a sense of needing to release that and adjust. So that may be also something that you find helpful for you at this point too. And not getting too ahead of yourself. So it's like if you're worrying about things when it comes to the future, this is about grounding your energy, bringing yourself back to the moment and being like, what can I do now? If I can't do anything about it now, I have to let it go, and moving in that way. There may have been somebody that kind of popped up out of nowhere that you were hoping maybe would have helped you, but there's a sense of letting go of this collaboration with this person for some of you. Like you may have even found somebody and hope that they may be a guide for you, and you may recognize that you're going to be guiding yourself rather than relying on this person, and you're letting go of that. Ooh, yeah. Letting go of that collaboration. Very interesting. For some of you, there was something that happened, and intuitively you may have been aware that even though you couldn't understand why, intuitively you felt the need to pull back from somebody or not go ahead with something. I'm looking at Pluto, Pisces, and Aries here. And it's like, I'm seeing this person could have, like, you could have seen them and been like, I admire their empire, what they're working on, or how they go about doing things, or this could be a business person, something like that. Someone you would see as maybe higher up than you in some sort of way, like maybe in the arena that you're in, something like that. And you're like, maybe this person could be a guide to me. But there's a sense of like something not being completely known. I'm also hearing fishy about this person, and there's a sense of letting go of working with this person and moving away, because there could have been some feelings. The situation may have like gotten a bit disruptive, and there's a sense of moving away from this, and because of that you're moving into a more calm space. Like maybe even some type of like drama or something arose from the situation with this person in working with this person. I'm looking at the 5 of 7 of Swords. It feels very much like you may have avoided something that intuitively you were being guided away from. And this feels very much like instead of relying on somebody else, you're stepping up into that place and relying on yourself to guide yourself, to trust yourself. And maybe this is also something that you're getting used to. You know, when we choose, Libra, to go down paths that are less commonly taken, sometimes we don't have somebody like standing out as a figurehead to be guiding us, and we have to guide ourselves because it's a path less traveled. And that may be something as well that you're picking up on now. You're like, if I want to get this done, if I want to do things, I need to trust myself more. I need to follow my intuition. And by doing that, I'm seeing that like part of your identity is going to be revealed to you. Like part of your power is going to be revealed to you when it comes to what happens when you trust yourself and what you create because of that. Because it kind of feels to me like your ability to trust your intuition and use your logic and reasoning skills simultaneously, it's going to reveal to you that you very much are the Emperor. And the Emperor is somebody strategic, somebody determined to build what it is that they're looking to build, somebody concentrated, somebody that's going to put down the bricks to build the house. Yeah, it feels very much like you may have been picking up on something, and when you do follow your intuition, it validates what it was that you were picking up on. That's what it looks like to me. Because there's a sense of, like, maybe questioning your intuition because something was unknown, but because you had that trust and faith in what it was that you were feeling, once you made a decision based off of that, I'm seeing you come to a place where you're like, yeah, my intuition is right, and feeling like very validated within a decision that you made. 23:33 on the time when I looked up. To go over the signs again, yeah, it seems like your guides were sending you a message that you received. That's what this looks like to me. And it seems like you definitely could have avoided something that otherwise would have been like some sticky situation that you could have found yourself in. Or maybe something more difficult to get out of. I'm also getting something about a contract here. All right, my friends, to go over the zodiacs again, I'm looking at Pluto, Pisces, and Aries. We are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.